All right, fight fans, welcome back to WMMA Scene Now. This is one, I'm not even sure how I'm going to categorize it as news or if it's discussion. Normally, I don't talk about, TMZ type gossipy stuff on here. That's just not the type of channel I like to run. But I feel like this is a pretty serious subject, so I want to talk about it. So, both Miesha Tate, former UFC bantamweight champ, and now vice president of talent relations or something, whoever won championship, and former fighter and UFC, interviewer, Laura Sanko, have both been getting a lot of heat on Twitter over the past week. And as with Laura Sanko, it's apparently evolved to physical threats against her and her family. And really, it all comes down to things they've said, things Miesha Tate said about the tape released by Cyborg last week, and then Laura Sanko because of the interview she had with Dana White that was late last week. I can't bring up what Miesha Tate was talking about, but apparently she's been getting a lot of flack in her Twitter DMs. A couple out straight out in the open, basically attacking her for saying that, she was on a podcast last week. I don't know if she makes regular appearances on that or she's one of the hosts. I'm not sure what the deal is. But she was on a podcast, I guess, and basically pointed out that, that video released by Cyborg looked heavily doctored. Like she said, the subtitles don't seem to match up with what it seemed like Dana White was saying, and then they cut him off in mid-sentence. Well, it turns out Miesha Tate was right, because Cyborg straight up came out and said, yes, the tape was doctored, and she made a public apology to Dana White because of it. Now, granted, she passed the buck on her production team because, well, that's what Cyborg does. She never takes responsibility for anything, really. But Miesha Tate was getting a lot of flack for that, and she was right. And then you got Laura Sanko, who tweeted earlier today, quote, "Strange world when I'm threatened to be stabbed and have someone hurt my family, all for doing my job. Silver lining, I've officially graduated from dick pics to death threats, so I guess that means I'm in the big leagues." And that was a public tweet. And this stems back to the interview with Dana White. What was it, like Thursday or Friday? I think Thursday. And a lot of people have been attacking her openly too, like not so much threatening her, but just straight up attacking her for basically just how she did that interview. A lot of people are saying, well, she's a hack, she sold out, she's not, she didn't live up to her journalistic responsibilities or whatever. Okay, Laura Sanko is not a journalist, okay? She's not an investigative journalist. Her job isn't to investigate stuff. Her job is not to ask hard-hitting questions. Laura Sanko is a former fighter turned fighter interviewer, okay? She started off doing backstage and post-fight interviews in Invicta, and then she got called up to the UFC. Basically, her job is just to do basic interviews with fighters and people in UFC, which is exactly what she did, okay? She is a taller, blonde version of Megan O'Leary. She didn't sell herself out because she did exactly what her job asks her to do, okay? Let's pretend for a second that Laura decided to start asking some hard-hitting questions during that interview with Dana White. You know what would have happened? They'd have said, cut, and they'd have said, Laura, go back to the script. And then they would have gone back to the script in the interview and continued it as it was planned, okay? She did her job. So for her to be receiving death threats for that and threats of physical harm against her and her family is just absolutely disgusting. It's just gross, okay? Now, I know that a lot of times it's just anonymous people being assholes, but you really can't take any of those as just, someone being an anonymous asshole, because you never know. There might be an actual psycho out there who will live up to their threats, or might try to at least. I mean, I like to think that nobody that's a regular watcher of my channel would be doing this kind of stuff. But, you know, to anybody that's watching out there, if this is something you're doing, stop it. It's not funny. It's not cute. It's not cool. It's pretty damn serious. And, you know, threatening someone with bodily harm or making death threats is a crime. Okay? It is a very punishable, highly punishable crime. It's serious stuff. Okay? So, if you're watching this and you've done it, cut it out. Anyway, that's really all I want to talk about this. It disgusts me that it even needs to be said, but I felt that this video needed to be made. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Likes always appreciated. Hit that bell for notifications. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. And we'll see you next time.